I'm going to be spending the next month creating the first part of my live action Obito video. And yeah, I already made one in the past, but I kind of wanted to do it again, but a lot better, and adding multiple parts of his life, since he is my favorite character in Naruto. Okay, so the first part I'm doing is War Obito. These are the eras in Obito's life that I'm going to recreate. Obito's rage scene, fighting Minato, fighting Konan, War Obito, and his death. And as of right now, I'm starting off with War Obito. I didn't plan it. Since I have a tendency to overthink a lot, I decided to just put on my costume and go outside with my camera and just kind of do random movements until I thought I had something, which probably wasn't the best idea considering the fact that I had to refilm twice to make it make sense. So here's the concept I came up with. So I have an establishing shot of Obito, and then he does his signature Uchiha split kick. And then it just goes into a fight sequence, and then he does a couple jutsus. So he does his fireball jutsu, and please don't say anything about the fire going through the mask. I know. Kakashi does it all the time, and Obito does it in the games. And then he ends off with a wood style jutsu. So, jumping right into making the environment. Since I already made a video like this last year, I kinda already knew what to do. All I had to do was just put a bunch of rocks together using Megascan assets, and then I had my environment. And now that I have my environment and most of my scenes filled, I decided to start working on the first opening shot. The first thing I noticed when I was making this shot is that the shot is a close-up. And in my last video, every close-up that I only had one. I had scratches on the mask because, you know, he's in war and his mask wouldn't be completely clean. So what I had to do is just track my head in Blender and then put some scratch marks on it in post. Then obviously rendered out my scene, did some compositing, and before you know it, the shot was done.
Holy moly.
Now let's start getting into the cooler scenes. And because of the way I filmed my footage, once I brought it into Blender, I had to 3D camera track the scene. And I ran into some small problems when tracking these scenes. But after some time, I finally got it to work, and now my scene is tracked and I'm ready to move on to rendering. And since I'm not really that flexible, I couldn't really do a full split in the air, and for some reason every Uchiha starter pack comes with a perfect split. I'll share a little cool trick with you. I used the liquefy effect to reposition my legs into a perfect split, and reset it once my body hits the ground so my body doesn't become warped. So now, check out my split. And as I was working, I soon realized that I never filmed the plates of the ninjas. Who am I fighting? Who am I looking at in this video? And it was annoying because every single time I wanted to refilm, the weather was just not on my side. I'd wake up and it's cloudy outside, I'd wake up and it's raining outside, and then I'd wake up and it's finally sunny. But then I don't have time to film because I'm doing other work. But finally, I had a perfect day to film, so I put on some what I thought random shinobi would be wearing, and I acted like I was just getting hit outside, and it looked a little awkward, but I made it work. And I literally have PTSD from doing this last time because I was in 6 costumes and I did it all in one take, and I had to change out of each costume, and I was really tired and it was the worst thing ever. But now that I have my footage, I can rotoscope each ones I wanted to do and then drop it into the shots. We all know I like to do a lot of dashing shots, and I didn't really want to do the classic zigzag anymore, at least not for this video. So I decided to just keep filming random plates of me doing weird movements. And once you have the footage all cut out, you can basically have all the camera movement you want as long as the camera is facing in the right direction. In my case, I was able to keep the camera animating backwards in a straight line. So all I had to do was place my clips in each spot I wanted them to be. So it looks like I'm just dashing all over the scene. Usually when doing a dash shot, basically what you want to do is once you have your camera set up, you stand like semi in the middle of the frame and move from one place to another. And then in post, you can either speed that up or animate yourself going from one place to the next. And if you want like a cool eye shot like I did in my Sasuke video, watch that if you haven't. All you have to do is just take some hyper close-ups of your eye. And once you have that, you can simply cut every single part together and then you have something like this. And as I continued working on one of the action sequences, I thought of a really cool idea of Obito throwing an explosive kunai towards the camera. But I realized I didn't film any movements of Obito throwing the kunai, and I knew I did not have time to keep refilming because I needed to get this out because I haven't posted in, 6 years. But then I thought, hey, you made an Obito video last year. You have old footage of you throwing the kunai. So I just went ahead and took my old footage and used it in the new shot. Now for the Jutsu shots. So same old process. I cut myself out, 3D camera tracked the scene, and then did some compositing. Done. And cool thing, for the wood style shot, all I did was use Megascan tree branch assets and went into Blender and used curves to kind of align the curves towards the camera. And then once I parented the trees to the curves, I animated the trees going upwards so they follow the path to the curve, which makes this kind of a cool tree branch effect. I definitely think that this video is a huge improvement from the one last year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, after some more compositing, sound design, and contemplating life, here's part 1 of Obito's life.
I'll end your pathetic lives here and now.
Daytona Beach, all the way up to Jacksonville. This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead. All of you. Because you can't survive it.